Hey, welcome. Thank you for coming out today to today's Keep Calm and Career On. Um, Glad to have the participants that we do today in our session. For those that are new and maybe needing me for the first time, my name is Bert Rivera. I work at the Career Development Center at Cal State Long Beach, and my role there is working in the Career Development Center and working to help employers connect to students and to really create a space where they can make that interaction. And what I do here, this Keep Calm and Career On, this is a special opportunity that we have every 2 weeks or so. And this is a space where we can connect not only career resources and career development, but it allows you to actually make a connection to keeping calm. This environment that we're in right now, it's very stressful. There's a lot going on, and I know there's a lot of changes, and everybody I talk to is looking for a little bit more balance and a little bit more peace. So this event is an opportunity to do that. I bring a little bit of my experience. I have about 12 years experience studying mindfulness and meditation with some very advanced practitioners of these topics. And I really am excited to bring some of that to you all as students to learn some of those tips and those techniques. So welcome to Keep Calm and Career On, and let's get started for today. So the first thing is our theme that we have for today's session is a path to a profession, and that's kind of the theme, is thinking about professions. So for those of you in the chat, I'd just like to get a feedback from a couple of you. What's a profession that you want to go into? Like, what's a profession that you think you want to move forward in after college? There's no right or wrong here. This is just an opportunity to share maybe any insights or any thoughts of a profession that you'd like to get into, and the way you'd like to get into that. So, okay, so I have one option that comes in is banking. Okay, so that's definitely a profession and a pathway to go into, is going into the banking industry. And another one says counseling. Okay, so you have banking and counseling. Both are professions, and there's so many professions out there. Thank you both for sharing. But where you are now is students, and it can be a little intimidating. How do you go from where you are as a student to where you want to be and where that profession is that you want to move into? And I know, in working in the Career Center and working with many students over the number of years I've worked here, that's always a hard challenge, that pathway to that profession. So hopefully in today's Keep Calm and Career On, I wanted to share a couple tips that can help you out in navigating that pathway to the profession. So first tip I wanted to share with you is, oh, look at that. Things are all over the place here. There we go. All right. So I'll give both tips. So the first tip I wanted to share with you is exploring career paths on ONET Online. So this is a resource that I introduced previously in a couple sessions ago. ONET Online is this amazing database, has so much information and data in terms of careers, professions, and what you need to do to get into those careers and professions. So I'd highly encourage you, when you get some time, maybe after this session, or maybe when you get a little time during your break next week, to check out ONET Online. I'm going to submit in the chat right now for everybody a little guide. This shows you how to get onto ONET Online and how to do a search. And I'd advise that you search for the profession that you're interested in. So maybe banking, if you're interested in banking, you type that in. Or if you're interested in counseling, type that in. What it's going to do is give you a list of a lot of different professions that have that word in the title, and then click that, and there'll be so much information. It'll tell you all about the different positions, the different job titles, the skills required, the type of things you do on a daily basis, even the average salary depending on the state that you're within. So it gives you a really good overview, and it's going to really help you in determining what your path is to get to that position. You may find that you actually don't want to go into that position after you read some of that, and that's fine too. It's better that you research and figure that out now before investing a lot of time there. But otherwise, it may give you a lot more tips and advice on skills you can develop, things you can read about. So I really highly recommend checking out that to get a little bit more insight on the profession you want to go into. The other tip that I wanted to share with you is to set up an appointment with a career counselor. At our Career Development Center on campus, we also have it available virtually now. You can actually meet with a counselor, talk with them over Zoom, and get to let them know about what your interests are, what your motivations are, and things you're interested in. Because they have a lot more of a perspective of the wider field of career possibilities and can help give you advice on things that maybe you never even considered. So to set up a career counselor appointment, it's pretty simple as well. We have a system called Career Link where you can just schedule a time to meet with a counselor. I'm putting into the chat right now a link that has a YouTube video. It's already going right to the section that shows you how to schedule an appointment with a counselor. So that's something you can do as well. And both of those are going to help you figure out your path to a profession. So hopefully that helps you out in your next steps forward. So now for our um, keep calm tip and a practice that we could integrate today. So I wanted to bring in the practice of mindful eating. So I'd like to ask you right now, if you have a moment, maybe grab a snack from somewhere in your house. Maybe you have like some chips, maybe you have a piece of fruit. It doesn't really matter what it is, but just take some time to find something that is going to be something that you can eat. And don't start eating right away. Just take a moment to get that. While you're getting that, I just wanted to introduce mindful eating. This is a practice that you can do anytime that you're eating. Something maybe that you do at the start of your day when you have breakfast, the end of the day when you're eating your last meal of the day, or even just a snack. It's a great mindfulness practice in that it allows you to appreciate the act of eating and then also to see the interconnection in all the different aspects of eating that we have. So I'm going to introduce this practice to you. Hopefully you have something to eat with, and if not, you can always just practice this later. I have here a piece of toast. This is a piece of cranberry walnut toast with some peanut butter on it. And we're going to just do a little practice of mindful eating. So I'm going to just close my video so you don't have to watch me eating, but then you can actually hear me talk through this process and through this practice. So first, I'd like you to get your piece of food and just place it in between your hands and just take a moment to look at it and observe it. So often we just rush right into eating and we don't necessarily pay attention to what it is that we're consuming. This is something that not only goes for the food that we eat, but for the information that we consume. So just take a moment to look at your food and what it is that you're eating. And what I want you to do is think about where it came from. Before we eat it, just take a moment to think about where it came from. With this piece of toast that I have, I'm looking at it, it's toast. So there's grain, and I can think about the grains that grew from the farm that made that toast. There's walnuts. So there was a tree that actually made walnuts and produced walnuts that was in this. Cranberries came from a cranberry bush. And then there's peanut butter on top. So that came from peanuts that grew in the ground. And there was farmers and people that took care of these trees, these plants many months ago. And for the trees, many years ago to start that tree. All that care and attention that went into the food. Take a moment with your food and think about where it came from. All the hands that were involved in growing or producing the food that you have. And then once it was actually ready to be picked or it was ripe, then it was harvested by somebody or somebody's, collected, processed, maybe taken to a facility for the grain. It was turned into flour to make this bread. The walnuts were shelled. The cranberries were dried. For your food, think about what process it went through. Just like we have to go through a process to get to our profession, there's a process to get this food here in front of you. Then, once it was processed, it was put together and transported. And eventually, after many steps and stages, many hands and many individuals engaged, he brought it to the store or to the farmer's market, someplace where it was bought. There was somebody who put it on the shelf or put it on a display rack, set it up on a table. And then either you bought it or maybe somebody else bought it for you and brought it home, brought it into the space that you have right now. So, with that thought of where it came from, take your first bite And as you do, just slowly breathe in and breathe out, being aware of the flavor of what it is that you're eating and appreciating all the work and the effort it took just to get this one piece of food, this one bite to you. The countless number of hands that were involved in making it, the miles that were driven, the effort that went into making this piece of food in front of you, whether it's a piece of bread, a piece of fruit, or whatever it is that you have. And as you eat, just savor the flavor. Don't rush through it, but take some time to really appreciate what it is you're eating. The different flavors and the different parts that have come together to make this meal, this snack that you're eating right now. And as you breathe in and breathe out, you're welcome to take another bite if you finished your first bite. And just stay in that feeling of appreciation and interconnectedness, knowing that each piece of food that you eat every day, every drink that you drink every day, came from the effort and the energy of so many people, the effort and energy of nature, the sun shining, the rain and water nourishing, the earth beneath providing the support and nutrition, and the air that allowed the plant to breathe. All these elements coming together, all these people coming together, all these processes and miles coming together for you to eat this piece of food that it is in front of you right now, and to taste these flavors and to appreciate what it is that you have. Take the next few moments to just eat mindfully. And as you do, I want you to savor what it is that you're eating. Notice the texture, notice the taste. Just be aware of the process of eating and let go of any distractions that keep you from thinking about it. This is time that you're really dedicating to being aware of eating, continuing to breathe in and breathe out. Just being present and being mindful of this process of eating. You can finish your last bite. If you've already taken a bite, you can finish that one. You can return back to just being present. I just really wanted you to share, if you could briefly, what was that experience like? What was it like to either think about where the food came from or think about the act of eating? What did you notice? What was it like? Just you can share it in the chat if you had any thoughts or any reactions that you wanted to share. Calming, definitely, that was one response. Calming, relaxing. Great, great. It's amazing, right? We get so busy throughout our days and so hectic, and we want to calm down and relax. And sometimes we think we have to do so many other things to relax, but just the simple act of eating, stopping, thinking deeply about where the food came from, and just breathing and being with the act of eating is so powerful. It's so influential. And that's something that you can do multiple times per day. Even if it's only one bite per meal, that can have a huge effect and impact on the rest of your experience throughout the day. So thank you for taking a little bit of time to do some mindful eating. I wanted to share with you a quick little video. This is from an amazing mindfulness teacher called Thich Nhat Hanh, and he does a little talk about mindful eating. So I'll share that video. And then there was also another little video I found, which was a cute one with just some kids talking about the process of mindful eating. And I thought it was really helpful if you wanted to do that practice yourself. So, thank you so much for joining this afternoon to keep calm and career on. Hopefully, you feel a little bit better about your process to find the profession you're going to. And hopefully, through your practice of mindful eating, you learn that everything's a process. And even getting to your career, just like that piece of food that got to you today, it takes steps, it takes time, but eventually you get there. So, with that, have a great rest of the day. Look forward to practicing with you soon. Have a good rest of the semester. Bye, all.